Welcome to our weekly live webinar, or Learn in Your Lunchtime. And really such a wonderful privilege to have Beverley Wharton-Hood with us this afternoon. And Beverley is going to take us through some incredible initiatives that she's been working on in the education space. And as you can see, I've been away from civilization for the last few days. But good to get back into the swing of things with this afternoon session. So guys, as always, just please do leave us a couple of comments in the chat. Tell us where you're from and what your interest is in today's session. And if you've got any specific questions, as I said, in the adverts, and hopefully you guys did get some promotional emails from universities this week. The session is all about learning and earning. So, we're going to be very interested to hear how we can take learning and education and convert that into some benefits, monetary and financial well-being, etc., for ourselves and our family. So do pop a note in the chat. Tell us how you're doing, where you're from today. And with that introduction out the way, Beverley, over to you, maybe just to give us a little bit of background to yourself, and then let's dive into what you've been busy with and what you'd like to talk about today. So Beverley, your background, give us a little bit of context to yourself.
Thank you very much indeed, Peter. Yes, I have been in education for many years. I don't actually want to say how many, because then, the secrets of my age will be revealed. But for in excess of 35 years.
Right.
As a school teacher, then in educational publishing for 20 years. And then in the last 5 years, I have 3 different companies. But my passion has always been education and making a difference in people's lives through learning. And it's actually very interesting that we are told knowledge is power. But knowledge is only power if you can use that knowledge and apply that knowledge to earn. And this, since having left Pearson, a big education company that I was director of learning, innovation, and strategy, really trying to find solutions to the biggest problems in education. And we look at the environment that we live in now. One of the biggest challenges, and this is not a new challenge, is, but it's certainly a challenge getting worse and worse, is unemployment, youth unemployment. So we look at matrics leaving school and graduates leaving university. What are the 3 biggest things they struggle with? Firstly, it is experience. And linked to that is skills. So let's start with skills. Skills. And you're thinking, hey, come on, give me a break. I've been in school for 12 years. How can you tell me I don't have skills? No, you have education. But what you don't have is practical employability skills. Skills that make you an asset in a company. Communication skills, planning, time management, etc. And now you go to university and you're like, hey, I've spent another 4 years. So, surely now I must. But all you really have is more education and still no skills. So that's, what are they missing? Number 1, skills. Number 2 is experience. And this is the catch-22. I saw a cartoon the other day. It's of this little kid. The kid must be like 5 years old, and he's got a wheel span and he's trying to take the wheel nuts off a big truck. And the caption was, nowadays you need 20 years of experience when you're still 5 years old. Otherwise, you can't get through life. So it's a catch-22. To get a job, you need experience, but you can't get experience if you don't have a job. Go figure.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Beverley, topics very close to my heart, and many other people in our community as well. And I think certainly the people that have joined us today are also very interested to find out more and to enrich themselves with those skills, which then ultimately leads to that financial riches. And I think, the greatest riches and assets that we can invest in are those that improve us and the knowledge and the experience that we have, and then use those and monetize those to improve our lives
Yeah.
and those of our families. So, Beverley, I mean, you've got a couple of initiatives on the go that sort of really making this a reality and that can give people practical and tangible value from today's session, and we'll certainly share those links as we go. So over to you. Which one would you sort of like to start with, and just sketch it out for us and tell us a bit about the vision of it, and then, very importantly, give people, the practical steps to take action, get involved, and get value from those initiatives.
Cool. I'm just going to. So I know the audience is thinking, hey, she said there were 3 things. She only mentioned 2 that people are missing. And this is where the learn and earn comes in, because the 3 things matrics and graduates are missing: skills, experience, and a job. And we just need to look at the environment to know jobs are becoming scarcer and scarcer. And so this is why I started the 2 businesses that I'd like to chat about very briefly here today. Academia Abilitas Skills Program. You can already see the direction this is going in. And ChangeMakers Academy. So let me chat about Academia Abilitas. I am a problem solver. And so I started with a problem. The problem is matrics are leaving school and they are looking at, do I go to university where the graduate unemployment rate, sorry to those guys who are graduates listening in here, the graduate unemployment rate is close to 40%. Do I spend, or my parents spend, this much money and there's no guarantee that I get a job? Or can I look at other opportunities that could get me a job? And therein lies the challenge. Could get me a job. What I actually wanted to do is almost guarantee a job. And so I started with the end in mind. I went and looked at the short skills list of America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, UK, Russia, and on all of those lists is farming. And this is why I started Academia Abilitas Skills Program, which is in the farming and agri sector. So when people do this 12-month course, and the 12-month, well, it's 18-month course, 6 of those months are practical experience on a working commercial farm. Solves problem number 2. So now you've solved 2 problems. Problem number 1, skills. Problem number 2, experience. And problem 3 solved, because the countries that farming is on the short skills list of, which is many around the world, will welcome you with open arms because you match their short skills list. So you could work in a corporate, a co-op, consult to a farm, work on a farm, start your own transport or logistics business, security business, because you are doing a code 14 truck license, a forklift truck license, you are doing plant and nutrition, animal health, building, tiling, plumbing, bricklaying. Please go and have a look at the website. Thank you for putting the website up there, Peter. But this makes you imminently employable. The only way you probably won't get a job is because you didn't try. It all but guarantees employment. And so that's what I'm interested in. I am interested in giving people a way in which to learn practical skills that are relevant in the market, which means they will be employable. These are all CETA accredited courses or licenses. So people can have peace of mind that this is something that they can trust. And so that's the value proposition of Academia Abilitas. I mean, please put your hand up if you would love to go overseas on an adventure, work overseas, earn a foreign currency, and maybe even get a foreign passport.
Incredible. Incredible. I was just looking down here at this Extreme Driving Academy, which looked very interesting to me here. Owner Engeli Botma failed her learner's and driver's license. Sounds like me. and realized that driving schools, she decided to become an instructor and then opened her own driving academy, which has grown into one of the most successful driving academies in Gauteng. So it looks to me like, Bev, you really tied up a lot of great partnerships here
Yeah,
with both these wonderful individuals and these organizations. So coming through Academia Abilitas really gives people access to, a high quality range of courses and partners and certifications, really, that can set them up for success.
yeah. It's gun. They do a shotgun, handgun, rifle, gun competency, code 14 articulated truck license, and all these costs are included, all the logistics. I mean, you imagine the logistics of going and getting these licenses, forklift truck license, the official course of the South African Fertilization Association, the official course of the South African Animal Health Association. When people finish this course, they can go work as a truck driver overseas. The USA is saying people to drive big articulated trucks. Security on cruise liners. I know there are a few people already thinking, yay. And we
Yeah.
just formed a partnership with Student Hero now, which
Okay.
is a funding portal where people
Okay.
can get funding for 5 years funding. And essentially, the course will cost from about 795 Rand per month. So
Yep.
there
Yep.
are funding solutions as well for people that are wanting to do this course.
Yeah, so I did just put the pricing up there, and I mean, look, obviously it's an investment in yourself and very important, and
Absolutely.
get a massive return on that with those certifications. But does that funding option that you mentioned just now, Beverly, does that assist with that pricing and help you sort of pay
Yeah,
it off over time, and something that
correct.
perhaps people would be willing to consider, going down that route if they wanted to engage with you
Yes.
and get access to these certifications? Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
So Student Hero um, is the biggest financial facilitation of student loans. That's going to go actually up onto our website today. They work with ABSA, FNB, Nedbank, Standard Bank, Fundi, and another one. And there are a range of options, but they can pay it off over from about 790 Rand per month. So
Right.
there are a number of different funding options.
I think I mean, that sounds very attractive to me. I mean, look, obviously one of the big things we are challenged with in our student community is affordability of training. And I mean, we've had people on here, previously from the company that makes sketches, and they were investing 2 million back into, students' debt that they had accumulated, based on qualifying criteria. So a lot of the people that we've had on this webinar over the last sort of number of months have been geared around the financial aspect because it's often a very stressful component. But it seems to me like, Beverly, that you've really invested in a very high quality program here with a range of high quality certifications, and you figured out the sort of funding aspect to it. And I've put the link up, in the chat so people can click on that, take action, and go through and visit your website, and then obviously send an inquiry through and engage with you on that. And I mean, Beverly, it would just be lovely if they were to come through and say, look, we saw you on the Student Success Coach webinar, and you were able to just give them some very unique advice and attention. That would be really helpful so that they can get an added bonus from listening to us today. That would be fantastic.
Excellent.
Anything else on your website? So you said you were going to put that funding aspect up on there today, so people can go and have a squiz at that. I did go through pretty much everything that was available, just so they can get a flavor of what is on there. But just really, I think this byline here: set yourself up for success and enroll in the Academia Abilitas Skills program. So guys, I mean, Beverly's done her research. She's been in education 30 years. And this passport to global employment, with accredited certifications and everything very nice, neatly laid out here on this website, I would not pass up the opportunity to go and spend some time on this. And Beverly, what I'll do is I'll put the links and all of this information in our Student Success Coach Facebook group, and I'll put the link on there for anybody that's watching today that isn't already a member. We've got a big community there, so all the information will be available in that Facebook group for people to have a look at later on. Beverly, maybe just give us a sense of how many people you've had through this program, how long has it been running, how many people have come through that sort of pipeline, got the certifications that they've chosen, and then gone on. There was an internship, but then obviously, they're moving on into sort of self-sustained, income generating opportunities, either locally or globally. Have you got a sense of numbers that you can give us an idea of the success of the program so far?
That'll be 0 for the simple reason that it launches in January.
Okay. Okay. So fantastic.
I
It's a
should have
well.
mentioned this to you. Now it launches. It was actually supposed to launch last year, but you know what? COVID was rude enough to
Okay.
interrupt that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it is actually launching in Joburg. So just another thing to add here, the program is in Joburg.
Yes.
We are certainly planning for it to go countrywide. There are 2 intakes per year, a January intake and a July intake. And so many people may be coming to Joburg from other regions as well. What we are going to be putting on our website as well today is an accommodation option. We've been having a look around at, from a student accommodation perspective, how can we assist students? And we have come across, will go on today, we've come across a company called DIG, and they specifically focus on student and or shared accommodation around the country, particularly for students. Think of it as an Airbnb for students.
Okay.
That is effectively what it is. That will go on the website today as well, by the pricing and funding section, where you will also find the Student Hero logo. So by the end of, let's say from Monday, certainly you will find all of that on the website. It is going on today.
Fantastic, Beverley. So you're launching, and it's great that we've got access to this during your launch, which is fantastic. Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah. Just a last thing I wanted to say. The purpose here is, one of my core passions is to help people employ themselves as well. So what I love about the skills program, the way in which we've set it up, is yes, you have multiple employment opportunity types, transport and logistics, because you've got a certificate in conveying livestock, you've got a code 14 truck license, you've got you can employ yourself in your own transport or logistics business as a consultant to farms. You could set up your own handyman business if you wanted to. We have looked at it from that perspective, not only to get people jobs, but to help them employ themselves as well.
That's fantastic. I saw here Retco Projects specializes in general plumbing, electrical, woodworking, and carpentry. That's a passion of mine. And as you know, I wrote a book on woodworking a number of years ago. So perhaps there's some support that I can give you there as well, but just very interested to see the link there. Okay, Beverley, and I see we do have a couple of people showing some interest there, certainly in farming. Kobedi Mokwena says, farming is close to my heart. It's always been my dream to venture into it apart from my professional field. Well, Kobedi, get in touch with the team and, pop an email through or submit an inquiry on the website. I put the link there in the chat. And you never know, perhaps today is one of those fortuitous opportunities that comes along and, potentially launches you on that dream of yours. Kobedi does have a question here. Are these programs funded or participants should pay for it? So Kobedi, as I understand it, Beverley's going to be adding a funding, aspect onto the website, hopefully by the end of today, which will help you with the funding model, if you like. Maybe just Bev, touch on that specifically again for Kobedi.
No problem at all. So there are no bursaries, and you cannot get NSFAS funding. This is a private college, so you won't be able to get NSFAS funding. But what we have wanted to facilitate on behalf of students is to give them viable options for student funding in the most cost-effective way. So let's think of Hippo as an example. So Student Hero is like the Hippo of student funding. Instead of having to go to 10 different companies to get quotes, Student Hero gives you access to all of them. They will get your information and say, okay, give us an overview of you, and now based on you, let's look at the funding options and what is going to work best and deliver the best value for you. And it's all the big banks, Fundi, which is one of the biggest funders in South Africa from an educational perspective. And then one, I think it's called Malaluka, which is a kind of different alternative approach as well. So it's probably the most diverse approach to funding that you will find. So chances are, if you are interested in the course, you will find a funding solution.
Okay, fantastic. And I see I just popped onto their website now, and I'm very interested maybe to have them on the show at some point in the future. But I see that they do have a WhatsApp option that you can send through a WhatsApp to get more information. And I'll also just put the a link to their website there as well, so that
But I
people
mean,
can
if
hop
people
on
can
there.
just go through our site, that's
Yep,
going to help us filter people and just do follow up and support as well. So we will have the
100%.
link there. But sure, if they want to pop through there,
Yeah,
maybe for other studies that they are doing as well, what
exactly.
a pleasure. I think that would be very valuable for people.
Absolutely. One of the biggest challenges we have, Beverly, is people say, "Well, I'm in a program, I'm in a degree, but I've got a challenge to pay for it, and I tried getting bursaries, etc." So certainly, any angle that we can give students to help them with that funding
Absolutely.
aspect will be fantastic. But if you guys are interested in the Academia Abilitas, don't be put off by the pricing. I think the message from Beverly today is that they are going to partner with Student Hero. But if you're interested in Bev's program, obviously come into the Academia Abilitas website, and then just indicate that you'd need funding, but you can find more information about that on their website by the end of today.
Can I
So
just add one
yeah.
thing, please, Peter?
Mm,
So what you said earlier was so pertinent. It is, I think, the challenge for many matrics and parents is, and even graduates, I mean, anyone, as long as you're over the age of 18 and you have a matric certificate, you can apply for this program. The challenge is cost versus return. So if you look at the cost of going to university versus the return in terms of guarantee, and I'm not guaranteeing you'll get employment, your likelihood of getting employment here is in the high 90s. So if you look at the cost of this program, which is all in terms of you don't have to pay for textbooks. Obviously, you have to pay for your accommodation, your internet access, etc. Although some of these accommodation options have internet as well. It is an investment in your future.
mm.
And the ability to recoup this investment, especially if you're going to go overseas, which you now have easy access to, you will recoup that investment very quickly.
Absolutely. No, look, I mean, that's certainly something that we're very passionate about here in the Student Success Coach community. And really, the focus is in these webinars and the courses and the community and everything that we spoke about when we had a chat the other day was to help people be successful in that journey and then make the transition into the working world. But, we repeatedly talk about the importance of getting those skills, whether it's formal or less formal, in any way that you can, and then putting those to good use. In your chosen area or field, either in formal employment or creating employment or in some sort of program such as Bev's that we've been speaking about today. Bev, we've got a question here, and I think it's going to link us very nicely into the sort of second topic or other initiative that I know that we're going to be talking about today. And Boikanyo says, thanks for the topic. It's hard being a student alone. Adding a skills program to that, wouldn't it be suicidal? Absolutely. So Boikanyo, if you're in a degree, absolutely, you've got to finish that degree. This is by no means now a fork in your career. We want you to crack on and complete what you've got. This program gives people options that perhaps are still making a decision or considering what is out there. But in terms of adding skills to what you're already doing, that is something that we talk a lot about. And, Bev, you're very passionate also about this concept of micro learning. I develop online courses, and I believe that there, is room in everybody's day and in any program, academic or other, that you're busy with, to do online courses, to acquire new skills, get additional experience, really just do whatever it takes to improve, what it is that you have to offer any future or current employer. And so, Bev, perhaps you want to talk about that and just link it in with Boikanyo's question here, that I think what you want to talk about now is really going to supplement anything that people are already doing in that micro learning sort of type of format. So Bev, tell us then about the other initiative that's very, very exciting.
Thank you. Thanks, Peter. So it follows on from the passion of solving the problem. And if the problem is unemployment, and education is a way in which to solve the problem, the key challenge for many people is joining the dots. So if there was a more natural flow of, I'm going to learn practical skills that then give me experience and then give me an option. Oh, no, that's not changemakersacademy.co.za.
Oh, I thought it looked a
Here
bit
we
strange
go.
because I was on it the other day. Okay,
No,
ChangeMakers Academy, right? Yes, .co.za.
.co.za. And so
Okay,
this,
sorry.
no problem. The vision of ChangeMakers Academy is to join the dots. In other words, what I give people like you, students, matrics, is practical skills. Because what did we say the three key missing things are for matrics and graduates? Number one, practical skills. Number two, experience. And number three, money. So what if you could get all three? And that is exactly what ChangeMakers Academy does. So I teach people practical, relevant skills. And when we talk micro learning, I really am talking an hour per course. And I know the students are thinking, an hour? What on earth can you achieve in an hour? And you know as well, Peter, you present many courses on Udemy, etc. In an hour, you can achieve a huge amount. So the purpose of micro learning, think of it as an orange or a lemon. You squeeze the juice out of the topic. And I've said to the content creators, if you had to take this topic, let's call it LinkedIn marketing, Facebook marketing, um, uh, storytelling, and you had to convey the absolute essence of this to people in 1 hour so that they could walk away, apply what they learn, and get a fundamental difference in their lives. Think of the Richard Koch 80-20 principle. I want the 20% in the course that delivers the 80% results. And this is the bottom line of ChangeMakers Academy. So when you come onto ChangeMakers Academy, you can go one of two routes. You can say, hey, I'm not interested in earning. I just want to learn practical employability skills. Fantastic. Follow the path for just learn. If you want to learn and earn, which is where you are now, effectively what ChangeMakers Academy does is it teaches you skills. I coach, mentor, and support you to apply the skills, and you get the second part of the equation, practical experience. And then it is linked to an opportunity to earn part or full-time income. And we've partnered with a regulated financial services company. Why? Because I want people to have peace of mind. This is a business they can trust. So this is a regulated company. I mean, it's regulated by more regulatory bodies than most people's banks. And what you will see on here at the moment is 6 courses. The platform launched this week. Yay. 6 courses to start with, and there are lots more courses being added in the next few weeks as well. And if people want to go the learn and earn route, what they do is they go and plug into the learn and earn route, and they get access to all of these courses as well.
Right.
So they are fantastic digital marketing courses. Now, I run a digital marketing agency. What I have taught in these LinkedIn, Facebook courses is what I do in my digital marketing agency. It's exactly what I do. So if you look at the amount of value you would get from these courses, it is significant. And
Fantastic.
then we do support tiny charities as well.
Okay.
So what it's called ChangeMakers Academy for two key reasons. I want to help people employ themselves so that they can never be unemployed. And I also want to make a difference in the life of people in the community. So we've got three community projects. And the reason they're tiny charities, often big charities like the SPCA, they get lots of money. But these little tiny charities that are making a significant impact in people's lives, they don't get any support. And COVID has hit them very, very hard. And so
Yep.
what we are doing is 20% of all the earnings from the courses go to tiny charities.
Okay. And I see, well, just absolutely fantastic aspect that you built into the business here, and how you're giving back to, the communities that really deserve it and need it the most, as you say, as a result of a very sort of disruptive year that we've all experienced across the country. I see also, Bev, that you have a referral program here where people can actually get a bonus of R1,000 or more if they register multiple people. So, I mean, that could be something quite interesting, and certainly something that, as you're getting this platform going, you'd obviously be interested and keen to get, new members on board, and something that perhaps people can take action today and, tell 5 of their friends, or 10. And if they get those referrals coming on, is that something that they can then anticipate to get that kind of bonus from you as you launch this platform?
Absolutely. So the earning model is in conjunction with a regulated financial services company called Dewpoint, which is the social entrepreneurship division of a 68-year-old insurance company called Constantia. And what people have the ability to do just through simple referral marketing using online. No, you're actually not allowed to sell because it's a regulated financial services company. No presenting is required. All you need to do is send messages using social media. I even give people the messages to send out to other people to tell them about this business in a box, because you are creating a real financial asset you own that you can sell or that your family can inherit with a regulated financial services company. And I always say to people, if you die, hope not, can your family inherit your job? No.
Mm.
Can your family inherit your salary? No. Here, your family can inherit your business, the recurring income from your business. And what I love about the business model is you do the work once and you keep earning a recurring income. And remember, talking to the one student who said, I need to earn a little bit of extra money, this you can do with your studies. So you could do this as a part-time thing. Many people are doing it as a full-time opportunity. They are setting up a real business, well, part-time or full-time you are, because there aren't any jobs out there. So people are really, really, really struggling. And we're seeing more and more and more people joining ChangeMakers Academy in collaboration with Dewpoint because they want a business they can trust. I mean, why do people typically not start businesses? It is very expensive, high risk. They don't have the skills, they don't have the resources, and they don't have the support. Here, they get all of that. What is the cost to join? 249 Rand a month. And they get access to all the courses, to a mobile app to run the business, to coaching, mentoring, 4 free services that are outlined there: doctor, lawyer, roadside, home assistance, and a business they own at very low cost, zero risk. And if they get 5 people, they've covered the cost. I mean, they could sign 30 people in a month, bonus 15,000 Rand, and 30 times 55 Rand recurring income. So it's not
Fantastic.
insignificant income.
Yeah, I see that offer there that it's free when 5 referrals join, which I think
Yeah.
is definitely something that has a win-win benefit in terms of, getting the word out there and helping launch your platform. But then people that adopt this early on get the benefit of coming in at those early stages. And we've spoken many times, we've had Daniel Robust previously who talked about his entrepreneurial journey and the importance of creating a sustainable business that you can then, build up over time and employ people and hand on to your family, or perhaps exit and profit from, etc. So guys, I mean, I would really implore you to go into the website, have a look there, have a squiz around. We've certainly sort of given you a bit of a sneak peek of that, and there's lots of valuable information there that you can go and get more information about. And certainly, that quote that you had there, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but teach him how to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. I mean, that's really the essence and the ethos, I think, of what we're talking about today in terms of building a sustainable business. We have also spoken previously about how it will be difficult if you are studying full time as well to get a business going on the side. But hey, it's you're going to have to put the time and the effort in to change your circumstances, and we're giving you practical ways in which you can take action to do that today. Bev, one lovely question that we've got here from Aniki is actually that she's interested in volunteering. So it seems like Aniki is quite interested in some of the charities that we've got here. So, I mean, could you connect her with some of these charities, perhaps, if she contacts you through the website later on?
Sure. When you scroll down that page as well, you'll see there is a button to each of those charities. So there we go. Just
Mm.
above there,
Okay.
there we go. It says
Yep.
support. That takes you to the website of that particular initiative. And you can go and connect with them and say, how can I be of value and support? And that is what this world needs is, especially in these COVID times where we've become so inwardly looking and insular, the best way to change your life is to change the life of others. And that's the purpose of ChangeMakers Academy, is to say, how can we make a difference in the lives of others? What I love about this is the way in which you earn in ChangeMakers Academy is by paying it forward to other people. Telling other people about the opportunity to start their own business. Weirdly enough, most people in ChangeMakers Academy are people with full-time jobs. Why are they joining? Because they're not making ends meet.
Mm.
And it was Robert Kiyosaki and Warren Buffett say, you have to have multiple sources of income. You can never, from this business, you can never be fired, retrenched, retired. We all need other sources of income as well. And this is with a regulated company people can trust.
Mm, fantastic. And I just love the fact that you built in this, way in which you can link, these deserving charities with people that are browsing on your platform and maybe want to help them, either by contacting them directly or coming in through the program and being part of the model that you've set up here, Bev, so that there's compound benefit to everybody, and we lift society up as we all make contributions and as we all
Absolutely.
take action. So, Bev, I mean, these are just two fantastic initiatives. So let's just recap. So Abilitas, you've launched now, and that's sort of getting some traction. And ChangeMakers, I know you and I have spoken about perhaps, getting some courses onto the site there. And if I talk about a couple of the previous ones that I've launched recently is about how to write a job-winning CV. And myself and Tracy Ashington put a CV masterclass together. Tracy's been in graduate recruitment for more than 20 years. And in that masterclass, she really teaches the basics of how to put a CV together. And we give you a template. And in the course, we even offer you to get in touch with us. And Tracy will give you feedback on that CV. And we're, I think, going to do a partnership, Bev. And I think putting a CV together is a practical way in which
Mm,
people can,
very
improve
valuable.
their station in life and get practical skills. And as you say, micro learning in an hour, give me exactly what I need to put a decent CV together, and that's certainly something hopefully that will be of value on this program here. There's a question here. This is Sir Edwin from University of Pretoria. My question is, what should the young inventors do to be supported financially? Bit of an open-ended question there, but any thoughts on that one, Bev?
Yes, and it's such a beautiful question. I love it, Sir Edwin. Very official. ChangeMakers Academy works with many non-profit organizations to create a self-funding model. I do exactly the same thing with startup business, startup incubation hubs, because the challenge is funding. It's become exponentially more difficult now to get funding as a result of COVID, because companies have been suffering as a result of COVID. And so what I say to people is, here is a self-funding model. So if you want to fund your inventions, this is a great way. And the way in which you're funding it is by making a difference in the lives of others. And I'm talking to big non-profit organizations, women empowerment, youth development organizations, feeding schemes. One of the people who joined recently, CEO of Feed a Child. And the reason is, if you need to depend on funding from outside sources all the time, it limits your ability to deliver the value you want into. But what if you could join ChangeMakers Academy, help your community, and by helping your community, fewer and fewer people need feeding. By helping the challenge with incubation hubs is probably 10% of people in incubation hubs ever get funding. Now, what about those other people who can't get funding and have a wonderful idea? How do they fund that? And that's what I'm saying to them. Join ChangeMakers Academy, build a business that creates an income that can fund your inventions.
Brilliant. I love that, Beverley. Thank you so much. And just a couple of reminders. I put a couple of links on the chat there. Those of you that haven't yet subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. And you'll get regular coaching tips as well as recordings of all our webinars. And if you switch on notifications, you'll obviously get updated on future interviews like this one that we're having with Beverley, which could genuinely change your life and give you an opportunity to build a sustainable business. And then, of course, if you're looking for a little bit more support and interaction, I've just put the link to the Facebook group on there. And Beverley, I tagged you in our link this morning, and it'd be great if you want to join the group. We've got 2,000, students in there, and you're more than welcome to post, and we make it about student success, and we want people to be successful. And often that's, the academic program and being successful in writing or doing a research proposal or getting through the milestones of a formal qualification. But very often it's linked to workplace readiness, like doing a CV, sitting a successful interview, and very often it's also related to funding. People aren't going to be successful in their academic pursuit if they don't have the confidence and the support of the sort of financial aspects that they need to be in place. And sometimes they have to take action to sort those out themselves. Nobody's going to, always going to come and help them out. And the things that you've spoken about today have, I think, really given people lots to consider to support their studies from a funding and a financial perspective, if need be. So, guys, the links to the Facebook group and the YouTube channel are in the chat there. So please do go take action and join us in there. And Beverley said that you'll see us in the Facebook group and keep us updated, Bev. I think what would be great is, as new features and maybe new courses come available on the ChangeMakers Academy website, you can just pop a link in there and say, hey guys, new course added, and just keep us updated as new people join the group. We'll provide the link to this webinar recording and the other initiative, Academia Abilitas, that we spoke about. As new features and news comes out on those platforms, you're more than welcome to let us know about that, and link us into your own Facebook groups and your own social media there as well. So people,
thank you. I really appreciate that.
No, absolutely. And the Student Success Coach is all about a community where we bring in experts and passionate people about, like yourself, and through those connections and people going and finding more information and taking action, we all help each other, which is really what we're trying to achieve. So, Beverley, thank you so much. It's been just a wonderful discussion this afternoon. Any closing thoughts or advice? I mean, we've had a good discussion this afternoon, and people are, I think, just getting through day by day, week by week, month by month with whatever they have in front of them. Any final words of encouragement or support for people that have joined us today?
Absolutely. Responsibility and accountability. we're talking to young people here. I'm ancient compared to you guys. I mean, I'm 56. You have the world in front of you. You need to realize it is in your control. You hold your future in your hands. And so you need to take accountability and responsibility for your life and realize even just half an hour a day of something like ChangeMakers Academy, for instance, will change your life. So make a decision and then take daily consistent action. And you will, and if you start now, cumulatively, tiny little steps each day, you have climbed a mountain. You look back and you look, wow, how far have I come? So that would be my advice.
Yeah, fantastic. I see we've had a question there. How can people get in touch with you on social media? So I think what we'll certainly do is put all the links in the Student Success Coach
Absolutely.
Facebook group this afternoon sometime, and the links will be there. But Beverly, by all means, you, I presume, have a Facebook group for both
Facebook,
initiatives. I'm not too sure.
Instagram, LinkedIn, all of them. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. So quite easy for you guys just to go and search on there. And I would presume on your websites as well at the bottom, you probably got links to those. But I'm going to put everything into a post and I'll tag you there as well,
Excellent.
Beverly. So join the Student Success Coach Facebook group and you'll get access to all of that information. And then you guys can go
Thank
off and
you.
take action and do that with the
Excellent.
responsibility and the discipline that, Beverly has been talking about, which is the only key, that individual personal action and mindset that gets you to overcome your boundaries. We've spoken many times in many of these types of webinars where I've coached you guys and students about overcoming procrastination and achieving your goals and being successful as students. And I totally agree with Beverly. We've all got half an hour that we can take away from other time wasting activities like Netflix or social media or anything else that we can put into investing in skills that will uplift our station in life and perhaps even earn us some money and make a real
Mm.
difference, through that income model that we spoke about
Can
during
I
the
add one
session.
thing, Peter?
Yeah, sure, babe.
I am an avid listener of Jim Rohn. I'm an avid learner. And I think this is another valuable lesson as well. Always be learning. And he said, just make sure you are not spending major time on minor things.
Mm,
Spend major time on major things. Um, and you can make excuses or you can be successful, but you cannot have both. And
mm.
and I was doing a talk at a school in Soweto a week or so ago, and I said to the matrics, I said to them, um, the only butt in your life is the one you sit on. That's it. Otherwise, remember, but is an excuse, and you can have your excuses or you can have your success, but you can't have both. So make a choice.
Wonderful. And I've put the link there to Beverly's ChangeMakers Facebook group. And I just want to mention Tracy Ashington, who's a regular on our show and very supportive and partnering with us in the Student Success Coach community, says that this concept makes so much sense. She smiled at Bukanya's comment. Students are juggling so much already. Agree with Peter, but shouldn't be overwhelming. It's supplementing your studies so you come out the other end more marketable and likely to find a great job. So Tracy, as my
Absolutely.
co-instructor in the CV masterclass, knows the importance of being marketable with those extra skills and courses that you can put on your CV and just gives you a better chance of being successful out there. So guys, it's
Yeah.
been a fantastic session. Lots of advice. I mean, to have access to someone like Bev and to get an update on these two initiatives and links to all the other additional information is absolutely priceless. So Bev, we thank you for your time and
Thank
we
you
wish
very
you well
much.
in both your initiatives and keep us
Thank
updated and
you.
posted on the
I will
success of how
do.
they go.
And thank you for your incredible work and just the contribution that you are making to student success. It is fantastic. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bev. Really appreciate that. Guys, I'll see you all in the Facebook group later. I'll give you all an update with all the links and information that you need. Beverly, thanks and have a
Thank you.
super weekend.
Have
To
a lovely
everybody else,
weekend.
cheers and goodbye.
Bye. Thanks.